With the government trying to get rid of a concept that could threaten all the misconducts that are being willfully conducted to favor them, it seems important to analyze the progress that they have made so far on this objective. The government has been working on bringing in certain regulations that will suffice their objectives through the SEC. Perhaps, this may be the reason why we see them not bringing forward a system and not clarifying the exact procedure that could help the cryptocurrencies work in an elaborate manner to make higher profits. We will be dealing with all these aspects in this video. But first, we are giving away $500 at the end of the month to one random subscriber to start on their XRP journey. All you need to do is to like the video, subscribe, and comment your thoughts on XRP in the comment section.
Hey guys, have you ever heard about Stablepool? If you own XRP and are interested in making constant money on exchanges like 1inch, Uniswap and co., then this website is perfect for you. After having to sign up to the site with your email, you can simply go to Top Up and select the currency and the amount of it that you want to deposit on the site. Now go to Open DeFi Staking or add liquidity in Liquidity Pool. The site shows you how much of that amount you'll earn as interest within 12 hours, usually around 0.1 to 0.2%. Within 1 year, you'll have made 2x without any risk, which helped the site receive more than $80 million within the first week. And the best part, if you sign up until October 31st, you'll receive $50 in a random cryptocurrency for free.
Welcome, XRP Army. Let's grow the XRP Lab community by pressing the like button and subscribing. Let us get you strapped and ready for all the information that we will be exposing you through this video. SEC has, for a long, been trying to act on many cryptocurrencies. XRP has been one of the most high-profile cryptocurrencies amidst all of them. With such a high number of adoptions and market absorption that it has been witnessing, the future was already set for the XRP. This became the reason for an additional observation by the SEC, and therefore, it led to the present lawsuit in hand. It was also necessary to understand the implications that it held and the effect that it may have on the market in the long run. The developments that have been taking place in the case could hold a high value for not only XRP but the entire cryptocurrency regime. The case filed over the sale of XRP has traveled a long way ever since it first emerged earlier this year and in late 2020. The situation since then, with respect to the future that the XRP may hold, has been indefinite and unstable, as prices took a steep descent. More importantly, the prices came back up despite the case continuing in the court. Thanks to the community behind and, more importantly, the supreme technology being used by the company in addressing all the needs of their investors. As the case proceeded, multiple events unfolded, and both parties came up with arguments from their sides. One of Ripple's main contentions against the SEC is the fair notice defense and the lack of clarity from the SEC side. This perhaps is something that a few of the internal members of the SEC have been claiming to exist that was blatantly ignored by the SEC and the present chair. SEC's assumption that the XRP is unregistered security became the root of the case in hand. This also became the reason why a huge number of sales were questioned, which had a total worth of over $1 billion. This sale was challenged, and it was alleged by the SEC that these were unregistered and hence illegal. Therefore, the founder and the co-founder of Ripple were summoned to the court and charged by the SEC. Unless registered, these sales will be held illegal, which means that the entire amount which took place for the transaction was unaccounted money. Based on the Howey test, generally, the SEC determines whether a particular investment is a security or not. In this case, this was challenged, and the test was duly conducted. The four factors are an investment of money in a common enterprise, with the expectations of profits, and coming from the efforts of a third party. In the case of all other cryptocurrencies, the first three factors are being met. The reason which makes them not a security is due to the non-compliance with the fourth one. Perhaps, the fourth point is the reason why the BTC is not being challenged by the SEC and is being omitted. SEC contends that the expectation of profits from Ripple is coming from the work of the employees working at Ripple. As a result of this, the SEC is convinced that Ripple is not a cryptocurrency and is a security. As soon as the XRP went on to make the said sales, SEC squared upon them for not being registered security. Therefore, all sales of XRP must be held illegal. Since then, the matter took some minor twists and turns as the court denied the SEC's request to access the legal advice that Ripple is getting from its lawyers. This was not held as a right way to carry forward and was feared to violate the natural principles of justice, and also a very bad example for the general public. There were high chances that this case could later be used as a precedent to allow such an act time and again. As time passed, the court allowed Ripple to depose the SEC official who decided ETH is not a security. Bill Hinman was called to testify and clarify the speech he made some time ago, where he spoke about his position on BTC and ETH. This was also when two of the officials of SEC raised an official notice about the lack of clarity, which was one of the major contentions that Ripple had. This was raised by Commissioner Hester M. Pierce and Commissioner Elad L. Roisman. Both of them came up and warned through a notice that there is a serious lack of clarity, and this, therefore, was the cause of the legal action being taken at the moment. Getting back to the deposition, it was found that Hinman had warned Ripple to stop selling XRP as it was a security. This means that Ripple now had an idea about the kind of sale that was being conducted by XRP. However, there is a lot more to this. He determined back in 2018 that the XRP was totally fine, and he had no issues with the XRP back then. The matter changed in a couple of years. However, it remained unnoticed. The next request was about the access to Slack messages of Ripple. This request was also approved by the court in September. The discovery period has been extended, which means that the case still has a long way to go until we see an end to it. As Gary Gensler became a part of the team, the chances of continuing the case were higher. His opinion made him take a view against cryptocurrencies, and they sustained their ideas for much longer, perhaps, to date. He even goes on to say that most cryptocurrencies are, in fact, securities. So, with this view on board, we can be certain that the case will continue for a long time till the court is convinced that the said allegations are incorrect and until the SEC proves that XRP is a security beyond a reasonable doubt. He says that of all the cryptocurrencies available, XRP is one of the naughtiest ones, and therefore, all attention has been diverted to this for a long time. One of the documents that will be put together by the SEC is called the Memo a Legal Analysis of the XRP. In short, this document will consist of one of the three conclusions. It could say that the XRP is a security, XRP is not a security, or XRP's status is yet to be confirmed. Either way, things may not really go in favor of the SEC, which is good news. This was when the SEC decided to come up with something more. The SEC now started demanding the transcripts of the meetings where the founder and co-founder were involved. Looking at things in a more definite manner, we think that the matter may settle down for the SEC if the court looks at the said perspective. Gary Gensler has also claimed that Coinbase must come and register with the SEC. This came out after the statement he made, ascertaining all cryptocurrencies to be securities. Once they do that, and if it is determined that the XRP is a security, they would legally be allowed to do so, and hence, Coinbase could see XRP being listed in it yet again. The whole point is about how centralized the system of XRP is. As this gets clarified, we will be able to get a better picture of how things have been moving ahead. Once this happens, the profits created from the high trading volumes of XRP will duly be extracted, and hence this increases the chances for it to be listed soon. One of the other ways is to wrap the XRP in ERC20 the same way certain other cryptocurrencies are being listed on Coinbase, even if they are more like securities in the eyes of the SEC. This method could be used by Coinbase to list XRP as well, and hence, we think this could be a possibility. If you want to continue to know about XRP, we have got 2 more videos waiting for you on the end screen to check out. Make sure to subscribe and give us a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Before we end, kindly note that prices of cryptocurrencies frequently change, so by the time you watch this video, it might have changed to a whole new value. The information provided in this video does not constitute investment advice, financial advice, trading advice, or any other sort of advice, and you should not treat any of the content as such. The content in this video is for educational purposes only and hence should not be considered as financial advice. Do conduct your own due diligence and consult your financial advisor before making any investment decisions.